Talk to me, Michele. On the street lights on the corner. City vibes got a story. Feel the beat, don't ignore me.
Welcome into another episode of Talk to Me, Michele. I am your host, Michele, with that one L. What's poppin', everybody? Please forgive me because I know I left y'all without an episode last week. I have a very valid excuse, and it's selfish. It is. But I hosted a dinner party, not just a regular dinner party, a Black History dinner party. Okay. It was fabulous. So that's my excuse. And by the time I got through doing all the planning, the cooking, the decorating, I was worn out. So next time I have one, I will space it out carefully so I try not to miss another episode. But I hope you guys are doing well. If you have not subscribed, please do me a favor. Hit that subscription button right now. If you would like somebody else to tune into this good old common sense and wisdom, make sure you send it to a family member, friend, even a church member or a coworker. And you can follow me on all social media at Talk to Me Michele. I got to get personal with y'all this week. Really personal. And I want to talk about weight. Yes, weight. Because I've struggled with my weight all my life. Now, I've had my small moments, but let's be real. I've always been a chunky girl. And growing up, being chunky wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it didn't make social life easy either. Because kids, as you know, can be cruel. And my weight was always the punchline. I'll tell you like this. At the time, Fat Albert was a very popular cartoon. All right? And let's just say I got greeted with the Fat Albert theme song on a regular basis. But I learned early on that if I was going to be the joke, I might as well control the delivery. So I sharpened my wit. Turns out I was good at it. So good that I won class clown in junior high school. Yeah, shining moment. Now, did my humor make dating any easier? No, it did not, okay? If anything, it put me in a permanent homegirl status. I was the funny friend, the cool chick, but never the chosen one, right? And let's talk about the working world. When I had the opportunity to work for Teddy Riley, that was when I was at my biggest size. And let me tell you, being a plus-size woman in the entertainment industry that is obsessed with image wasn't easy. I had solid marketing ideas, real money-making strategies, but often I wasn't taken seriously. And then there's some moments that just really caught me off guard. Like, for example, when I went to a party with my girlfriends, the host greeted us at the door, and he looked me dead in the face and said, "Well, the food's being served right over there." Sir, did I ask you what's on the menu? Or the time I was trying to do some parasailing and they politely informed me that I have to ride alone due to the weight restrictions. I did feel like Respucia in that moment. I promise you I did. Even though the movie wasn't out by then, but when I saw the movie, I had that point. I was like, ugh, that was a Respucia moment I had. And I just knew everybody was looking at me at that point. So in this episode, I want to break down what it means to navigate life as obese woman, BBW, thick, fluffy, plus size, whatever you want to call it, the treatment, the reception, and the struggles, and the real conversations that need to be had. Because let's be honest, being big in a world that loves small is a whole experience. I want to tell y'all what it's really like to live in a plus-size body. I'm not talking about the Instagram filters, the hourglass BBW fantasy. I mean real life. Being overweight is like walking around with a label that everybody thinks they can read. People assume they know you based on your size. Your confidence is questioned. Your abilities, they're doubted. Your health, diagnosed by strangers with no medical degrees. And it starts early. As a kid, I wasn't just the chunky girl. I was the big for my age girl. And oh, she's so pretty for a big girl. And maybe if you lost a little weight, boys would notice you. And let's not forget the unsolicited advice from family members who still made you a plate the size of Texas and gonna look upside your head when you go back for seconds. Now, I was not about to be the quiet, sad, fat girl in the corner. Nah, I'm not doing that because I got jokes, okay? If people were going to talk about me, I was going to talk louder. And I was going to be funnier. So humor became my armor, my way of making people see me beyond my weight. You can't roast me if I can roast myself first. But here's the thing, when you're the funny fat girl, people love you. Wait until you want to be taken seriously, though. Suddenly, you're doing too much. You're too loud. You're too bold. Definitely too confident for your size. Like, excuse me, you just laughed at my jokes a moment ago. And now I'm supposed to shrink my personality too? And I'm going to clear up these assumptions that people make about people who are obese. Because being obese does not mean that people are sitting around all day eating fried chicken, gravy, and sadness. Not every fat person is lazy. Not every fat person is unhealthy. Not every fat person is eager for attention. And not every fat person wants to be smaller. People see your weight and assume. They start making all these assumptions about your work ethic, your diet, your struggles, and don't get me started on the gym. Let me walk into a gym, which I have, okay? And I walk in there, people are looking at me like I'm about to die on the treadmill, or they're congratulating me big time just for being in the building. Like, I'm just in here to stretch. The hell y'all applauding about? I'm going to keep it real. Food is comfort. It's culture. It's therapy when actual therapy is too expensive. And I did find food when I found loneliness. When my self-esteem was low, food never rejected me. It never told me I wasn't good enough. I knew exactly what I was going to get when I opened up that bag of chips. Stability. But that relationship with food is very complicated because while it comforts you in the moment, it doesn't heal you. And realizing that was a journey. Living in a bigger body is a full-time experience that nobody gives you a manual to. You learn as you go, and you also got to unlearn a lot of things too. Most importantly, you have to decide, are you going to let the world's perception of you shape your own, or are you going to own all of you? Every pound, every curve, every bit of confidence that you deserve. Now let's get into how the media loves to paint obesity with the broadest brush possible. Because according to TV, if you're fat, you're either going to have the confidence of Lizzo, and that's when she was a plusie, okay, because she's lost a lot of weight, or are you going to be the one that needs a forklift to get out of bed? Where's the in-between? I just don't never see no regular plus-size person just living. Listen, I've watched my 600-pound life. And don't even front, you know you have watched that same show too. Even people who claim they would never watch it have accidentally gotten stuck in during a marathon. But here's the thing. How does that show actually help society views with obese people? Does it just reinforce these stereotypes? Because on one hand, it does show the real struggles of people dealing with extreme obesity. It highlights the mental health aspects, the trauma, the emotional eating patterns that many people don't understand. But on the other hand, it feels like a modern day freak show, wrapped in a sad piano soundtrack with a Dr. Now moment. And that's where he's going to hit you with the, you got to lose 50 pounds in a month. And if you don't, you're not serious. You 50 pounds in a month? I'm still trying to give up bread. You talking about 50 pounds in a month? No, we ain't doing that, okay? That's too extreme. But here is the issue. When the only representation of obese people on TV is either extreme weight loss journeys or big, beautiful woman fetish content, it warps the reality. Most plus-size people aren't bedbound, but because shows like My 600-Pound Life are the main reference point, people start thinking that anyone over a size 18 must need a team of people to help them bathe. Suddenly, your weight isn't just your business anymore. It's a public discussion. Strangers feel entitled to comment, ask these questions, or they hit you with, you should try keto. Wait a minute, I'm in the middle of a checkout line, and you had given me advice. And don't even get me started on, but I'm just concerned about your health, people. Y'all weren't this concerned about my health when I was eating ramen noodles every day in college, so let's be real. At what point does telling a story turn into exploiting somebody's pain? Because if I'm going to be honest about this, these shows are produced for entertainment. They add the most dramatic music possible. They make sure to catch every moment of struggle. They slow-mo the heaviest sighs. They really overdo it. And they make sure we see every single tear. Because if it was truly about helping people, we would see what happens after the camera stopped rolling. We would see the ones who actually heal, the ones who don't, the ones who struggle but keep going. Instead, we see the most extreme parts and then boom, on to the next episode. Media loves a easy story. Fat people are either an inspiration or they're a cautionary tale. And I think we deserve better than that. Obesity isn't just on TV for entertainment, or at least it shouldn't be. It's real life. And real life doesn't always fit into the dramatics. I'm going to be real. Being obese in society is like having this unspoken language. And what I mean by that, you don't always see people being disrespectful, but you can feel it. You know how you walk into a room and you know the energy's off? It's that type of feeling. From dating to job interviews to just trying to exist in public spaces, there is an unspoken rule. The bigger you are, the more visible or overly noticeable you become. And a lot of people don't realize that obese people do get treated differently. If you're a plus size person, people just naturally assume that if you're dating, you should just be grateful for any attention that you're getting. Like you got standards, like you want a man that's 6'3", bearded, and got to be emotionally available. And how dare you be picky? But let a dude with a pot belly the size of a carry-on suitcase tell you he only dates fit women. And suddenly, these preferences are valid. You could be the smartest person in the room, but when you're going for a job and you're overweight, some employers assume that you're lazy before you even open your mouth. And let's not forget how the office always seems to put the plus-size employees in customer service or human resources, somewhere behind a desk. Like we might be spontaneously trying to pass out over here. And when you walk into a doctor's office with a broken finger, somehow the solution is always, you should lose weight. Like, I fell downstairs. What does my BMI have to do with my finger? Make it make sense. Now, I love me some body positivity, but I gotta be real. There's a difference between acceptable plus size and unacceptable plus size. If you're curvy in all the right places, society loves it. The thick thighs, snatched waist, all that. But if you carry weight in ways that aren't deemed as sexy, a belly, arms that wave back, or thick ankles, suddenly folks got a real concern about your health. And I cannot forget about the fashion industry. Plus-size models are usually toned, perfectly proportioned, no bigger than a size 14. Meanwhile, the rest of us are over here trying to find cute clothes that don't look like somebody's grandmama made them. It's like society is saying, you could be big, but the only kind of big that we find attractive. And this is where it gets tricky. Society will shame you for being overweight, but the second you start losing weight, suddenly everybody got an opinion about it. You're losing too much weight. Don't get too skinny now. You're changing. I like you the way you were. So you didn't like me fat, right? Okay, you don't like me fat. But now I can't be small either. The truth is weight loss should be a personal journey, not a social performance. Whether you want to lose weight or embrace yourself as you are, it's your decision. But society always has an opinion, and honestly, it's exhausting. Now, let me go ahead and bring up Ozempic because I know somebody out there is thinking, well, why don't these people just try Ozempic? First of all, this is new on the market. It's Hollywood's new magic weight loss drug. And you know it's serious when celebrities and influencers are out here snatched overnight talking about, I'm just drinking more water and doing yoga. Y'all be for real. Y'all know that Ozempic was behind that weight loss. Originally, it was made for people with type 2 diabetes, helping to regulate blood sugar. But once people realized it zapped their appetite and helped them drop pounds, it became a VIP pass to weight loss. Now, everybody and their mama wants a prescription. And the diabetics are out here like, we actually need this medication. So a lot of people are doing Ozempic because of the benefits. But there are some side effects that I don't think are a joke. Your stomach might go into a full tantrum by nausea and vomiting. You're going to have bathroom drama, I'm telling you. Either you can't go at all or you're going way too much. There's no in between. And you have major fatigue, dizziness. It could just hit you out of nowhere. Other serious risks include possible thyroid tumors, gallbladder issues, and I'm going to be real. This is not the fairy godmother of weight loss because once you stop, the weight comes back with a vengeance unless you actually change your habits. So if you're considering it, first and foremost, talk to a doctor. and maybe even a therapist if you think this is going to fix all your problems, because it won't. All I got to say about Ozempic is that a shot will not replace your discipline. But if you do take it, just pray your stomach doesn't start acting like it's in a horror movie. At the end of the day, being obese in society is like being on a never-ending game show where the rules just keep changing. Either you're too big, not big enough, too confident, not confident enough. But there is one thing. You don't owe the world an explanation for your body. Whether you're on a weight loss journey, living in your truth, or just trying to find a pair of jeans that actually fit your thighs and waist at the same time, your worth isn't determined by your size. And if society can't handle that, they need to go worry about their own plate. I gotta be honest, because I've been on an up and down weight loss journey for years. Now, recently, I have been very successful and I'm doing it the natural way. That's just my preference. I don't want to take shit. I just need to make some adjustments on what I'm doing daily, from physical activity to my eating habits. Because I'm not gonna lie, some days I'm out here drinking my green smoothies and meal prepping like I'm about to audition for a fitness magazine, but there are those days that a glass of wine is calling my name like an old ex. And I know I should ignore it. But here we are. And trust me, I have tried everything. I've tried everything. But I did have to make some changes. So what's been working for me is juicing and smoothies, because it's quick, it's easy, and it keeps me feeling good. Especially those juice mixtures I be making. The beet juice, the ginger, the celery, the cucumbers, little apple, lemon. You zap all that stuff in there and you drink it right before you start your day. You're going to get a good zap of energy and more protein, because let's be real, a little more steak never hurt nobody. And I'm trying my best to cut sugar when I can. And I know I just spoke about my non-negotiable glass of wine. I am trying. I am working on it. It's about balance, not punishment. I'm not about to be out here eating sadness for the sake of being skinny. And I want you to realize confidence doesn't magically appear when you lose weight. I had to learn that myself. And I had to learn to hype myself. I had to be my own fat man Scoop. You understand me? I'm looking in the mirror doing a little Flavor Flav. Because if I don't cheer for myself, who will? And real talk, confidence isn't about being the perfect size. It's about owning whatever size you are. Whether you're feeling yourself in a size 24 jumpsuit or finally get into those size 14 jeans, it's the energy you bring that matters. So if you are on this journey, number one thing you got to stop doing is comparing yourself to others. Social media will have you out here thinking that people wake up with six packs and perfect meal plans. They don't. It's all filters, lighting, and a lot of sucking in. And do what works for you. Whether you want to do keto, intermittent fasting, portion control, there's no one size fits all method. Find what feels good and is sustainable for you. Keep your end goal in mind, whether it's to better your health, more energy, or just fitting into that one dress you refuse to donate. Let that motivate you. And it's not easy, but it's worth it. There will be setbacks. I recently am trying to come back from a setback. I had not worked out in a couple of days. So I was having a couple of lazy days, but I finally got up off my ass and did what I had to do. Because there are going to be those moments that you're just staring at a donut. It's like whispering sweet nothings in your ear, and you just got to keep going. At the end of the day, it is your journey. So you got to own it. Laugh through it and remember you're already worthy, no matter what size. So if you're struggling with the weight of yourself, or you know somebody who is, most important thing that we can do is to show some damn compassion. People love to judge without knowing the full story. Meanwhile, they're out here on their own struggles, but I'm not going to be petty right now. Let's just keep it positive. At the end of the day, health matters, but so does self-love. Don't let society bully you into thinking you're less than just because you take up just a little bit more space. If you're making small changes, celebrate that. Whether it's eating better, walking more, or just not cussing out the scale every time you step on it, because progress is progress. Now, you can also do me a favor and stop comparing yourself to others. Love who you are while you are working toward what you want to be. And if people have something slick to say about your weight, just hit them with that little joke and keep it moving. That's going to do it for today's episode. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out the other great podcasts on the MBG Podcast Network, where we're continuing to spread Black excellence. And if you love what I do, you can buy me a coffee or maybe even a smoothie. But you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/talk-to-me-Michele. So until next episode, everybody, I'm out. Peace.
Talk to me, Michele.